Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Soul Canvas podcast. I'm Jenifer Madson, your host, and I am so excited to be into 2025. You know, last year was last year. Last year was a lot. Last year was a lot of travel. It was a lot of discovery. It was a couple of hurricanes. It was a lot for a lot of people that I know. And of course, there are lots of things happening in the world between our elections and wars and the things that are happening to us and around us and for us. At the core of all that, for me, like on the daily, is this great gratitude that I have the wherewithal to stay very closely in touch with what matters to me the most. And these processes, these systems, all the things that I teach and live about how to live into my vision on a day-to-day basis, whatever area of my life I'm talking about. It's not just my business that is my vision. I have visions for my personal life, my romantic life, my spiritual life, financial, the whole 9 yards. And so being able to do this, have this framework for myself, certainly being able to share it with other people is a great blessing. And I'm really, really grateful for that. Now, going into the new year, I'm going to spend more and more time on this process of vision. It really is what I'm called to do. And I'm so thrilled to have the chance to share with you what I know, what I've practiced, what I've coached, what I've led other people in as a process to bring your life to life. Your big ideas, books, businesses, your health, bring your life to life. And I think there are I know there are core processes for doing that. And each week we'll talk about that. Sometimes I'll have a guest, sometimes it'll be me. And I always want you to walk away with something that's really concrete that you can take into your day, take into your life. So the first thing I want to talk about is that if you've never done the Wheel of Life exercise, and you can find it all over the internet, and if you text me, shoot me a message, I'll send you ours. This Wheel of Life assessment is so fantastic in being able to take those different categories of your life, rate yourself on a scale of 0, if you will, is the middle of the circle, to 10, which is the outside of the circle. So each category has its own little pie, if you will, piece of the pie. And you rate yourself in these areas. And when you're done, you color in the different pie shapes and you'll see how bumpy the ride is. Now, I'm a big one for discerning what I'm seeing and not judging myself from it. I don't second guess. I don't beat myself over the head with stuff. It's about discernment and being able to look into this information and say, oh, for instance, this category of my life, great, going really well. Why is it going so well? Like, what are the elements of success there? Flip side, this area of my life is like a 2 or a 3. Why is that? Like, what's preventing me from finding greater satisfaction in that area? That's a quality question. I never ask myself, like, why aren't I in better health? Or why aren't I, working out more? That's not a quality question. The quality question, like, let's use health as an example. If my vision for my health is to be strong, flexible, healthy, but I'm not showing up for that, and therefore I'm rating it like a 3. Why is that? What's preventing me? What needs to be done with that information? Now, I love doing this Wheel of Life several times a year. I do it at the beginning of the year. I kind of check in a few months down the road. I certainly go back to it if I'm feeling agitated or disconnected or off base, if you will. So I do it like 2, 3, 4 times a year. It's really easy to visit. And like I said, it's a great assessment on what is for now, because it doesn't have to stay that way. It doesn't have to be that way forever. It's what it is for now. So do that. Shoot me a message or get online and Google Wheel of Life. You will find such great information. The other thing is that I know is critical to know about this whole vision process is that vision is different than dream, wish, hope. Dream, wish, hope, that's all precursors to vision. We can dream of being on a beach in Tahiti all day long, but if that's not really if that's not really a vehicle to fulfillment in a personal area of our lives, it's not going to be anything but a dream or a wish. And actually, it might work against you if you make Tahiti the vision, as opposed to my personal life. My vision for my personal life is to be in faraway places where I'm completely disconnected, cared for, and supported for a period of time every year. Oh, look, Tahiti's a great vehicle to that. So understanding, I'm going to get to vehicles in a minute, but understanding that a dream, a wish, a hope, all good. Things to pay attention to for sure, especially if they come up over and over and over again, because in my mind and my experience is that if they do come up a lot repeatedly, then it's probably time to pay attention. Art has been that way for me. I started pursuing different types of painting 30 years ago in Colorado. I was bored. I needed a new hobby. I was always the dancer. My mom was the painter. I always had these ideas that I can't paint. I don't know how. I wasn't born with that talent, that kind of thing. But I still kept dreaming and wishing and hoping that that were different. So I'd go take, like a watercolor class or some other art class. But I poked around here and there because at the time, there was no vision really attached to it. It was just like, I wish I could paint. I wish I could be more creative in that way. Vision takes things to a whole different level of desire. And when the desire is there to pursue that vehicle, like to have something in your life that elevates, expands, engages you on a different level, then you figure out whether or not that's the vehicle to it. Now, hopefully, as we go along each week, this will make more and more sense. What I want you to get from this whole conversation about dream, wish, hope is, first of all, don't confuse that with vision. Vision is when you get to the point where you're like, I have a vision for my life to be my most creatively expressed self, as an example, and I want to find a vehicle to it. And for me, it turned out to be painting. I've tried pottery and sculpture and some other things. For me, it's painting. And if you know me, you know that I have gone all the way in on that. I've dived all the way in on that. The vision was never become a famous painter. The vision was be my most creatively expressed being that I can be. Painting became the vehicle. And as we go along, I'll talk about how you can figure out the difference between vision and vehicle. Suffice it to say that on the dream, wish, hope scale, if there's something in those categories that keeps coming up for you, pay attention to it, because it might need a next level analysis to see if it really is a vehicle or a vision for you to pay more attention to build out, to get support for, to move into that next place. Let me give you another example, a more concrete example of people that I've worked with. I've worked with several people who talked about writing books. I had a man come to me some time ago. I really wish I could write a book, he said. And I said, okay, well, how much do you wish that? Not how often, but scale of 1 to 10. How big a wish is that? Well, he started talking about, I don't know if anybody will like it, and I don't know if it'll be any good. I don't know if I'll make any money. That kind of stuff that gets in the way. That's not the question. How big of a wish is it? Is it the book itself? What turned out to be true for him as we pursued that was that he really just wanted something that was a way to carry his message in the world, and he thought he was supposed to write a book. He did a program instead. He did an online course, and it went beautifully, and it was way more suited for him. And then he could let go of, this idea that it had to be a book. Flip side, the men come to me for books. Another man came to me and said, I must, and that's big language for me, I must write this book on relationships. He's a couples therapist out of Boulder. And he said, I must write this book. Why must you? He said, because it's on my heart, has been on my heart. It's my soul project. It's been there for 7 years. It needs to come out. And I feel like a book is the best way to do that. Alrighty then. So he really had a vision ahead of time. He wasn't in wish stage. He was beyond the wish and dream and hope stage. He was like, this has stayed with me for a while now. I must do something with this. Did that all of a sudden make it really, really easy for us to dive in and help him write a book? No, it's still hard, difficult, challenging, complicated. We run into ourselves. We'll talk more about that on the podcast for sure. But when it's a must, when it goes from wish, dream, hope to must do something with this idea, then we're getting to vision. Then we're getting to what I call the different phases of vision. We'll talk more about phases of vision as we go. And today, what I want to share with you about that is that, as I characterize it, I think the first phase of vision is what we just talked about. This is bigger. This is bigger than a wish. Like, I feel called to do something with my talent or my give back, or I just feel called. I feel called to. And then we pull out what you feel called to. That's phase one. Doesn't have a lot of definition, but it has a lot of oomph to it. It feels big. The second phase of vision is I know what I feel called to. I feel called to create a business that addresses this particular thing, or I feel called to do a TED Talk, or I feel called to write a book, or